Guess. All right. Yeah. I can.
Yeah, Hunter Brown.
So all the stuff I just said I should have recorded already. But the first question, as part of this series of the end semester exit interviews of sorts, is just tell us a little about yourself, your musical background, and how you got started with percussion.
Yeah. All right. Well, my name's Hunter. I'm from South Louisiana. With the musical side, I started in 4th grade. You know, the little, here's a mouthpiece. Can you blow in it? No. All right. You're not playing saxophone. That kind of thing. And I went through some brass instruments. Couldn't do any of it. And then I went to percussion. Ended up being able to keep beat. And they're like, yeah, you're percussionist now. I'm like, okay. So I went through middle school and high school, kind of just doing that thing. Pretty fun. I just decided I wanted to go into music education because I really wanted to teach and I really enjoy music. So, you know, two and two together. And yeah, what else was there?
How did you get started in percussion? Just you already kind of answered.
Yeah.
All right, you already kind of answered the next one, but if you want to go into more detail about it, is why major in music at NSU?
All right. Well, again, major music because I really like teaching. I always want to be a teacher, and then I really like music, so I just kind of put two and two together. And for the NSU part, I looked at a lot of the smaller colleges in Louisiana. So, you know, like Nicholls, Southeastern, Tech, UL, that kind of stuff. And NSU was obviously one of them. I ended up making All-State my junior year of high school, and that was kind of like the right before COVID kind of thing. So the NSU was offering a free virtual lesson for anyone who made All-State, so, you know, fill it out, all that stuff. And I got a virtual lesson from him, ended up really liking it, so I decided to tour here. I think it was inside V-Day, because I remember everyone like doing the marching band stuff, but it wasn't actually marching band. So pretty sure it was inside V-Day. Got to meet him in person, thought he was really cool, so ended up auditioning here, and I really liked it, so yeah.
You're not going to tell that awkward story about... Sure.
Alright, yeah, I'm sure most of you know this, but so during our virtual lesson, you know, I'm playing stuff, I'm a high schooler, not very good, so, you know, he's giving me some good comments. And we take an aside for some reason, and it gets to the topic of chicken wings. And he said, well, do you think that a boneless chicken wing is a chicken nugget? I said the correct answer, which is no. And he was like, really? You know, he does something like, really? Like, are you sure? And that was like a good 5-minute thing that we kind of argued for absolutely no reason. But that was pretty funny.
Because you're wrong. That's It's a delicious chicken nugget. Still
It's a different part.
Okay. Right, next thing on here, I guess this will be kind of in two parts because you're not actually graduating quite yet. But what are your plans next semester, and what are your plans after you graduate?
Well, next semester I'm going to be starting student teaching at Elm Grove Middle School up in Bossier. Really excited to work with them. I'm hopefully going to be able to work with Parkway High School with their marching band stuff once that gets going. So we'll see how that turns out. And then after graduation, I'm going to be graduating in December, so it's going to be kind of an awkward thing, like trying to apply in the middle of the year for a lot of schools. But if there's an open position somewhere and that I'd be able to live, I'd definitely go for that because, you know, first job kind of thing. If that doesn't work out, definitely just work at something and then apply to places in the fall when a lot of places are going to be hiring. But yeah, that's basically the plan.
Next question. What's a favorite musical moment here at NSU?
Ooh, okay. So there's a good one and a bad one. So with the good one, definitely my freshman year when we went to PASIC, we played in the new literature session, and I got to premiere a piece by Dr. Perez, like Professor Negra or something like that. And that was really fun because it was a very high energy piece. I got to play the pretty cool literature in that session all around. And then the funny one, me and Harmony played 2+1 by Ivan Trevino, and when I went to perform it, I started in the wrong octave, and then during the performance, Harmony's whispering like, Hunter, and I'm like, what? Like, what's going on? And then I was like, oh yeah, and then I just like in the middle of the phrase, I just suddenly changed octaves, and then it went from there. So.
I was just thinking one of my favorite moments, whether with you and then also Harmony and Walker and then not Mars because he's not here, is having you guys perform this year at PASIC as well. So seeing you guys take those pieces see you've been playing for a really long time, performing at that level, and thank you for making the trip from not feeling well to being okay, and then all of that. So it was definitely, and then just that band as well. It's not a very good band, sorry. But we made it safely. The band just shook. They had problems. We got back safely.
It had problems.
Alright, anyways, last question for me, because usually there's a lot more people, so we're kind of going quickly, but we can draw things out if anybody has any other questions or if anything else that Hunter wants to talk about, is what have you learned here at NSU that you would like to pass on to the younger students? Everyone except for Walker and Caleb, because they're older.
Still technology.
Technology. But I guess if anything, I would say that it's not, like if something doesn't go perfectly, it's not the end of the world. Like I know, especially for ed majors, there's a lot of pressure in passing everything, not getting like a single D or F, whatever, because you know, teacher can't see you have to keep a certain GPA. With how the music classes work here, if you fail theory 1, you have to wait a whole extra year to take it again, or theory 2, whatever it works. And I know some piano can be really hard for 3 and 4 for some people, and getting C's on midterms and stuff really sucks because then you have a lot of pressure to go to finals, right? But one thing I've learned here is that you know life goes on. If you there's always a way to bounce back from something like that, and you can always make the best of it no matter what. Just because it didn't go how you wanted doesn't mean it's not the worst thing to happen in the world. Yeah.
Good advice. Anybody else have any questions for Hunter?
Are you interested in continuing to perform or play repertoire while you're teaching? And if so, how would you do that?
Maybe, because I've heard that teachers, you know, with all like the paperwork, administration, and then dealing with parents, and you know, you're actually teaching a class. I've heard it's extremely time consuming to the point where I don't know a lot of teachers personally that still perform today. They like put on their own concerts and that kind of stuff. Like they might perform with like the local orchestra or something like that, but nothing like, oh, I'm playing Pillar 3 with my friends now while teaching a beginning percussion class or something like that. But I guess I just gotta have to start teaching and see how that works out. See if it's really something I want to keep doing or if I want to focus on teaching.
Hi. Is grad school in your future at all, or do you think you're just gonna be a teacher and do that?
Right now, grad school is not in my future, just because I've been doing music like over half my life now, and then I've been here learning music for the past 4 years. So I kind of just want to get out there and start using what I've learned in a more applicable setting instead of just like teaching a band camp here or you know doing like some private lessons on the side. I think I'm ready to like actually get out there and start doing what I've learned. Maybe in the future, you know, like some things happen and I was like, oh, I actually do want to kind of keep going with this, but right now, no.
Because my question kind of combining there is do you have any ideas of how to keep playing when you're teaching? Because generally when you are teaching, your instrument is now the ensemble, for lack of better terms. So you are crafting them so that they can play the music that you're leading them, as opposed to working on your snare drum or your keyboard stuff. And so do you have any aspirations that's not grad school or forming your own percussion quartet or anything like that? Because half and half may not be around much longer and all of that, but do you have any aspirations to keep playing or like play with the local orchestra or doing gigs, drum set or anything on the side?
But yeah, it kind of just depends where I live, you know, because if I'm in like a 200-person village where like no one's around, it's gonna be a little harder to get involved with that kind of stuff. But I definitely like to at least, you know, if not for me, just like the students, like show like, hey, I'm still performing, even though you know I'm here, I'm in the school like what 8-9 hours a day sometimes. Like it's still, I can still use music as a way to enjoy myself. So maybe, I don't know.
What are you most nervous for / some of your worries going into like being an educator?
On the administration side, definitely trying to present myself in the best light when it comes to like interviews and all that. Just because I haven't been to a school to get interviewed for a position or anything like that. So, and I've heard that it varies wildly from district to district. So, you know, maybe just doing some studying on that, but I'm definitely nervous about that aspect. And then, we're all percussionists, and if you're a music education major, you're getting instrumental, you're also learning how to teach clarinet and tuba and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, method classes are cool, but I'm kind of worried that I'll get to the point where I have a student that I don't know how to teach technique to anymore, and it'll take more than me like looking at method books and actually practicing, because that kid, they're not set in percussion mindset, they got a new upbringing, and now they're outpacing me. So trying to find strategies like that for every instrument, to where if someone is better than me in an instrument, because I hope they would be, that I'd still be able to give them good comments and feedback on when they play.
It's kind of a two-part question. First, if there was a specific place that you would like to have your job at, where would that be? And would that job be either high school, middle school, or college?
Okay, well, not college, because I'm not getting a graduate degree, so that's not really a thing. At least I don't think so. But right now, I just like in my personal life, definitely Southeast Louisiana. Far away enough from home to where I'm not in my parents' backyard, but definitely close enough to where I could be next to my family. Because I have a godson and all that kind of stuff. And he's like 2, and when I go home, I love being with that kid. He's fun to play around with. But being close to family is definitely important for me. But I also know that could be up to chance, because in music education, some people stay in one spot for 40 years, and then sometimes there's like 2 positions in 3 years that open up. So I'd like to be in Southeast Louisiana, because that's where I came from. I know a lot more teachers there than I do like in Monroe or something like that, but you never know with this kind of thing. And right now I'm leaning towards middle school. I'm about to go student teach at a middle school, so if I end up hating it, I'll probably switch to high school. But right now, middle school, for sure.
Anybody else? How many sets of clothes do you have that are the same color, both top and bottom?
Oh, wait, I gotta think about that. Off the top of my head, probably 6.
Okay. Wow. Surprised you're not wearing a combination today, so. Maybe because your colored shorts or your bottoms are too short, so you wear pants today, so good for you.
Yeah, it's cool.
Alright, anything else?
I think Walker has a question.
Walker, ask it.
No, I'm good.
Oh, Walker.
Okay, so are we thinking 5-year half and half reunion or 10-year?
We'll see. Maybe trying to think of if you do 5-year, then it'd be like 0505.
Half
You know
and
what I mean?
half.
Yeah. Half the decade. So yeah, maybe 5 years.
Good job.
What's your favorite wind instrument that you would want to play more of?
Either clarinet or French horn. I like both of those.
Cool.
Even though I can't get over to break on the clarinet yet, but we're still working on that one.
Tough.
Come on, guys. I got 2.
Is there any part in your mind where you are thinking about starting to make compositions, or you just gonna stick to teaching?
I know it's a skill that all teachers should have, especially if you're working at smaller schools. I personally don't like composing, but if the budget's too low to hire somebody, I just get it done
Yeah.
and make sure it works with everything. But I definitely don't think I'll be making any money off of it. But if the need arises, I'm prepared to do it.
Well, everyone, unless you have a question?
Yeah.
I'll go ahead.
I guess any words for the younger music education majors, like what to look out for, or any words that got you through some of the tougher math?
Okay, so I would say make sure you're staying on top of your general education classes. So your EPSI, your adolescent psychology, that kind of stuff, because it's not exactly music related. So depending on how much, if you took any education prep courses in high school or something like that, it could be a game changer, because it was a game changer for me. And I didn't have the most engaging classes when it came to that. So it was a lot of me figuring out what's going on my own, while also trying to do all this music stuff, and then observation hours. Observation hours too, don't let that fall behind. I know I've done it like once or twice where I had to do like 20 hours in a week because I just didn't do it. It sucks. Don't do it. Just do like 2 hours a week, man. It's so much easier than trying to do, emailing 3 teachers so you can go observe for 8 hours in one day and then you don't eat, and then after that you have rehearsal or you have to go practice for 2 hours for your jury. That's next week. So yeah, definitely stay on top of the education side of things because that can creep up really fast.
Alright, last thing to wrap up with this, and we have some other things to talk about quickly, is I look forward to seeing all you guys on the other side of the camera, if that makes sense. All of you guys will be graduating a year to however long, but hopefully you guys will be sharing your wisdom with future generations of NSU percussion students. All right.